The history of Spain. Hello and welcome to Learn English with History. Today, we will explore the fascinating history of Spain. Spain is known for its rich culture, beautiful landscapes, and historical significance. From ancient times to modern days, Spain's history is full of exciting events and changes. Let's dive into the history of Spain. Prehistoric Spain. The history of Spain begins in prehistoric times. Early humans lived in Spain over 1 million years ago. Evidence of these early inhabitants is found in the Atapuerca site. Here, archaeologists discovered ancient human fossils and tools. These early humans lived by hunting, gathering, and later farming. The Iberians and Celts. Around 3000 BCE, the Iberians settled in Spain. They lived mostly along the eastern and southern coasts. The Iberians were known for their art, pottery, and metalwork. Later, around 900 BCE, the Celts arrived in Spain. They settled in the northern and central regions. The Celts brought new skills, such as ironworking. The Phoenicians and Greeks. In 1100 BCE, the Phoenicians arrived in Spain. They came from the eastern Mediterranean and established trade colonies. The most famous Phoenician colony was Gaidir, now called Cadiz. The Greeks also established colonies in Spain around 600 BCE. They founded cities like Emporion, now Empúries. The Phoenicians and Greeks influenced local cultures, introducing new goods and ideas. The Carthaginians and Romans. In the 3rd century BCE, the Carthaginians from North Africa arrived. They established a stronghold in the city of Carthago Nova, now Cartagena. However, their control was short-lived. The Romans defeated the Carthaginians in the Punic Wars and took over Spain. The Roman conquest began in 218 BCE. It took over 200 years for Rome to fully control Spain. Under Roman rule, Spain was called Hispania. The Romans built roads, cities, and aqueducts. They introduced Roman law, language, and culture. Many modern Spanish cities, like Barcelona and Zaragoza, were founded by the Romans. The Visigoths. The Roman Empire began to decline in the 5th century CE. Germanic tribes, including the Visigoths, invaded Hispania. By 476 CE, the Visigoths had established their own kingdom in Spain. Their capital was Toledo. The Visigoths adopted many Roman customs and laws. They also converted to Christianity. The Visigothic rule lasted until the early 8th century. The Moors. In 711 CE, Muslim forces from North Africa, known as Moors, invaded Spain. They defeated the Visigothic king and quickly took control. The Moors ruled much of Spain for nearly 800 years. They called their territory Al-Andalus. The Moors brought many advancements to Spain, including new agricultural techniques, architecture, and knowledge in science and medicine. The city of Córdoba became a major center of learning and culture. The Alhambra Palace in Granada is a famous example of Moorish architecture. Despite their achievements, the Moors faced resistance from Christian kingdoms in the north. The Reconquista. The Reconquista was the long process of Christian kingdoms reclaiming Spain from the Moors. It began in the 8th century and lasted until 1492. Small Christian kingdoms, such as Asturias, Leon, Castile, and Aragon, gradually expanded their territories. Important battles, like the Battle of Covadonga, marked the beginning of this effort. In 1469, the marriage of Ferdinand of Aragon and Isabella of Castile united the two powerful kingdoms. Together, they launched a final campaign against the Moors. In 1492, they captured Granada, the last Moorish stronghold, ending the Reconquista. This victory made Ferdinand and Isabella the rulers of a unified Spain. The Age of Exploration. After the Reconquista, Spain entered a period of exploration and expansion. In 1492, Ferdinand and Isabella sponsored Christopher Columbus's voyage. Columbus discovered the New World, opening the way for Spanish colonization in the Americas. Spain built a vast empire, stretching from the Americas to Asia. Explorers like Hernán Cortés and Francisco Pizarro conquered large territories. They brought immense wealth to Spain from silver and gold mines. The Spanish Empire became one of the most powerful in the world. The Spanish Golden Age. The 16th and 17th centuries were known as the Spanish Golden Age. It was a period of great cultural and artistic achievement. Spain produced famous writers like Miguel de Cervantes, who wrote Don Quixote, and poets like Lope de Vega. Spanish painters such as El Greco and Diego Velázquez created masterpieces. However, the Spanish Golden Age also faced challenges. The wealth from the colonies led to economic problems. Spain fought many costly wars in Europe. These wars drained the treasury and weakened the economy. The War of Spanish Succession. At the end of the 17th century, Spain faced a major crisis. King Charles II died without an heir, leading to the War of Spanish Succession, 1701 to 1714. European powers fought over who should become the next king of Spain. The war ended with the Treaty of Utrecht. Philip V, a Bourbon prince, became king, starting the Bourbon dynasty in Spain. However, Spain lost many European territories. The Bourbon reforms. The new Bourbon kings introduced reforms to strengthen Spain. They aimed to centralize power and modernize the administration. These reforms improved the economy and military. King Charles III, 1759 to 1788, was a key reformer. He promoted infrastructure projects, education, and economic development. Despite these efforts, Spain faced growing internal and external challenges. The Napoleonic Wars and independence movements. In the early 19th century, Spain became embroiled in the Napoleonic Wars. In 1808, Napoleon Bonaparte invaded Spain and placed his brother Joseph on the Spanish throne. This led to the Peninsular War, a brutal conflict between French forces and Spanish guerrillas, supported by British troops. The war ended in 1814 with Napoleon's defeat. The Napoleonic Wars weakened Spain's control over its colonies. Inspired by the ideals of the French and American revolutions, many Spanish colonies in Latin America began to seek independence. Leaders like Simón Bolívar and José de San Martín led independence movements. By the 1820s, most of Spain's colonies in the Americas had gained independence. The 19th century, political turmoil and civil wars. The 19th century was a period of political instability in Spain. After the Peninsular War, Spain experienced numerous changes in government. The country oscillated between monarchy, republic, and dictatorship. The Carlist Wars, a series of civil wars, erupted over disputes about the royal succession. In 1873, Spain briefly became a republic, but the monarchy was restored in 1874 under King Alfonso XII. His reign brought some stability, but Spain continued to face economic and social challenges. The Spanish-American War. In 1898, Spain fought the Spanish-American War against the United States. The war was short but decisive. Spain lost its last major colonies, Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Philippines, and Guam. The defeat marked the end of the Spanish Empire and was a turning point in Spanish history. The early 20th century, Second Republic and Civil War. The early 20th century was marked by social and political upheaval. In 1931, King Alfonso XIII was forced to abdicate, and Spain became a republic once again. The Second Spanish Republic faced significant challenges, including economic difficulties and political polarization. In 1936, the Spanish Civil War broke out between the Republicans, who supported the Republic, and the Nationalists, led by General Francisco Franco. The war was brutal and resulted in the death of hundreds of thousands of people. In 1939, Franco's forces emerged victorious, and he established a military dictatorship that lasted until his death in 1975. Franco's dictatorship. Under Franco, Spain was ruled with an iron fist. Political opposition was suppressed, and many people were imprisoned or executed. The regime promoted traditional values and sought to maintain tight control over Spanish society. Despite this, Spain experienced some economic growth in the 1960s and early 1970s, thanks to industrialization and tourism. The transition to democracy. After Franco's death in 1975, Spain began a transition to democracy. King Juan Carlos I, who succeeded Franco, played a crucial role in this process. In 1978, Spain adopted a new democratic constitution, establishing a parliamentary monarchy. The country held free elections and began to rebuild its political institutions. Modern Spain. Today, Spain is a democratic country with a constitutional monarchy. It is a member of the European Union and plays an active role in international affairs. Spain has a diverse and vibrant culture, known for its music, art, cuisine, and festivals. The Spanish economy is diverse, with key sectors including tourism, manufacturing, and agriculture. Spain is famous for its beautiful landscapes, historic cities, and cultural heritage sites. The country continues to attract millions of visitors each year. And that brings us to the end of our journey through the history of Spain. From ancient times to modern days, Spain's history is a story of resilience, creativity, and transformation. We hope you enjoyed this exploration of Spain's past and gained a deeper appreciation for its rich cultural heritage. Thank you for joining us on Learn English with History. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never